Hey guys, this is HYILMHMLBBU. This is a Dragonheir Silence God video. I'd like to thank Dragonheir for making this channel possible. And damn, what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be looking at the best 5 epics that you could pick up for $1. Or honestly, if you've already picked them up, why they're so good. In this game, if you are going to be someone who wants to invest that cheaty dollar, they've got one of the best value packs I've seen in any Hero Collector game, which is this Epic Hero Selectable Chest. I think they drop this every season, by the way, and you can go in here, literally pick up any of the epics in the game. So I'm going to talk you through 5 of my faves and why they're so good. And yeah, whether it's picking up for $1 or whether it's just utilizing them in your roster, because you will pick up most of them eventually, especially with the changes they've made to seasonal gameplay and the amount of Heliite dice you're going to pick up anyway, then yeah, I guess why the hell not? Right then, so the first one on the list, I do have this one on my free-to-play already. Adolphus. You'll notice actually a lot of this list are supports or tanks. Dragonheir's got this kind of like cool setup that supports and tanks are the lifeblood of your teams, and there's quite a few rare options for damage, which go well with these different supports and stuff. So really, really cool that Dragonheir kind of like really think about the support heroes that you've got in the game and the tanks that really kind of make a difference. So Adolphus here, part of the fire group in season 1, pairs really well with obviously poison heroes. So that's something to bear in mind when you're kind of like thinking about your teams. But Adolphus, what's going on? If the target's already under a shield, then he'll heal them as well. So he is a shield hero, and this passive skill just means that you get either shields or heals going off. The battle skill here basically is giving you 10%. If you click the little details button, it tells you a bit more info. 10% of the target's max HP and enlightenment shield for 10 seconds, increasing the ult energy as well. So you get a bit of boost on the shielding if you put scrolls into him as well. But basically what's he doing? He's stopping your tank from taking the big hits by giving them a big old fat shield, and gives them more ult, which means they're going to get their ults back quicker. And then for the final here, for the ultimate, basically doing, again, you want to build him with a decent amount of enlightenment to get the max amount of this, but he's doing enlightenment fire damage to enemies within range. You can see the range is pretty decent, and grants 15% target max HP enlightenment shield. So again, you've got like, this is all allies in this area. So he's just a shielding beast. And it makes it, if you pair him alongside someone else who's actually doing healing as well, damn, like it makes your team incredibly difficult to kill. So Adolphus, one of the top ones for me. Let's move into, I'd say, one of his best partners, especially for season 1 because of the elemental affinities. I do own this one on this free-to-play account as well. And that is Frerbath. Wow, what a tank. What a tank. So definitely one, maybe my favorite pick of the 5 that I'm going to call out. Definitely a top 2 for me. Your front line is your hero that you should invest in the most first. In other games that I play, generally it's like max out your damage dealer, because they're going to be the heroes that get you over the line. In this game, it's max out the tank, or at least push his levels before you push other levels, because they're going to be the way that you stay alive, allowing your damage dealers to do their work. So yeah, Frerbath is a top tier tank, basically a legendary hiding in an epic skin. I actually didn't realize he had this ponytail here going down. Hadn't seen that. I hadn't expected it. I'll be honest with you. Hadn't expected that. So yeah, he's got a defense aura. He's got a passive skill here. So when dealing damage to enemies under debuffs, the hero's got a 30% chance of healing an ally with the lowest current HP and dispelling debuffs from them. So this is a super cool passive, especially for a tank, just keeping people alive in the front row. And he's kind of keeping them cleansed. We've got a battle skill with a decent range here. Generates healing nexus around the hero for 6 seconds. Healing allies within the range based on his defense. So you build him as a tank. He's got more defense. And he becomes a tank stroke healer, which is nuts. Like, what do you want from your tank? Oh, I want him to stay alive long. How do I keep him alive? I give him lots of defense so he doesn't take much damage. And then, oh, by the way, I'm going to heal myself and people around me. Really cool. And then his ult here does poison damage to enemies in range. But more importantly, puts attack penalty on the enemies. Attack penalty 2, really good. So he's able to reduce the hits that are coming into him. He's reducing his hits. He's tanky anyway, and he heals himself. What more do you want? So yeah, Frobaf easily in the mix for me. Okay, let's go on to probably his biggest rival, and definitely a rival for which would I pick if I was doing the $1 thing. Again, I actually managed to pick this one up on my wrong one. On my free-to-play as well. My free-to-play has been blessed with some of the epics that I've got. Darius. This dude is so good. Between him and Frobaf, honestly, for which ones I would do in terms of like picking them up if I was doing the $1 pack. What I will say here is you need to look at your roster. So I wouldn't just go ahead and just like if I was picking up the $1 pack, I wouldn't pick it up day one. Play the game a bit, roll some Heliite dice, look at other heroes that you're getting, and then you fill the blanks. You're going to need heroes from different elemental affinities throughout the game anyway, but you want to be looking at where's your gaps and going for the heroes that make most sense. So if you've already got, you know, really strong heroes in kind of like lightning and radiance, then it would be you know, Darius would be a really good pick. But if you're going more down this kind of like poison and fire, then obviously Frobaf could be a good pick. Or it might be you've already got a good tank in horror, so you decide to go with, you know, support in Adolphus. So it really depends what you've got in terms of pulls to decide where you're going to go. But Darius is super good. So again, he's got defense aura for his captain skill. His passive here. So when taking damage, the hero's got a 50% chance of gaining a defense up permanently. Permanently stacking more and more defense for a tank. Very, very cool. And it's undispellable, so it can't be taken away. Up to 20 stacks, you get 40% more defense from that passive. We then got his battle skill here, Selfish Gains. So he deals damage based on his defense to enemies with 100% chance to knock them up. So that's basically immobilizing them for a bit. And then grants hit recovery, so restoring HP when being attacked. So he's stacking his defense up, and he's also doing a bit of self-healing. And then he's got an ultimate board wide, basically a legendary champion at this point. Dispels all debuffs from the hero and heals all allies based on his defense, and his defense is smacking up high because of his passive. There's also an artifact where you can get overhealing, where you get shielding for any overhealing you do. So this paired with that artifact becomes super strong. So yeah, Darius is a beast, honestly. Top 5 easily, probably top 2. Right, 2 more to go. They're actually both in this kind of like frosty area. So we've got Varesh. Varesh, super good. Actually pairs really well with Usha in Season 1 and pairs really well with Sigrid, both rares, in Season 2. Varesh, particularly good as a Sigrid setup. So you've got here, heals the lowest ally on the passive. You've got a battle steal here, which is basically doing cold damage to enemies. When dispelling damage, 50% chance of dispelling 1 buff. And then you've got a really cool ult. So you're putting debuffs on everybody on the board, so you're basically doing cold damage to enemies. You're doing decent amount of damage. You're putting out debuffs, which is really good for like a Sigrid. And yeah, basically you've got dispelling going on as well. And you've got healing going on. So a support hero that does a whole bunch of stuff that you need in terms of setup, in terms of healing, in terms of damage as well, becomes a really versatile hero that can just be used in tons of teams, honestly. On my main account, I used Varesh for like the first 2 seasons, almost in all content. Like, he's just super, super good and kicks out a lot of damage, honestly, for a support as well. Right, last one then. We're going to go into Croesus here and take a look at Zarloth, the Corrupted. Another support. They say support on this one. I don't feel like this is support. This is more like a damage dealer. So we've got increases attack on the aura. Every 4th attack heals the ally with the lowest HP. This is where the support tag comes by 300% of attacks. You want to be building decent attack for this one. And inflicts silence. You've then got this kind of decent range, speed penalty hits, doing necrotic damage to enemies within range. This one hits pretty decent. And then you've got the ult, again, decent range. Summons a prism at the designated location. dealing necrotic damage to enemies in range, and puts fear out there whilst doing healing as well. Tons going on in the kit, but good, like, consistent damage whilst being a healer and support. So Zalof would be my 5th one in the mix. Let me know if you think someone else should be in this list as a top 5. If you've got someone else, let us know who you're taking out. But yeah, there you go, guys. Top 5 epics I would pick up if I was doing that $1 chest. I've been HYILMHMLBBU. Don't forget to sub to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.